This is it. This is the video that this whole channel was leading up to. This is where we're gonna clap back. Remember that Make America Straight Again conference? Remember our takedown? Remember how we won that fight? Well, here's the thing. Now they've decided to call me out in a sermon and in a video, and we're gonna watch, and then we're gonna hit back. I'm Mr. Atheist. Woo. Let's do this. For nearly daily atheist content, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Do that. Bell too. Hit that. I want to jump right into this. Pastor Tommy McMurtry. Remember that name. This is going to be very important and repeated throughout. He is one of the 4 pastors that we saw in the last video advertising for the Make America Straight Again conference, which they are purposefully doing in close proximity to where the Pulse nightclub shooting happened, and will be doing it during Pride from June 14th to June 16th. If you remember, that video included excitement for violence toward homosexuals and lots of slurs that are words we get to use and you don't. This is a 2-part video, but all in this video. I don't mean 2 parts like another one's coming out. I really am going to ask you to stick around for the second part, because the second part, we're going to do this together. I have an action, I have a play in mind, and I need your help to do it. But first, let's review the video that Tommy McMurtry thought would be a wise thing to do.
Some of you heard about this. I don't want to name this guy because I don't want to give him any more publicity.
You have about 300 subscribers. I am closing in, I think, on 185 right now. I don't think you need to worry about giving me publicity, but I'm going to happily give it to you. But this guy, he means me, Mr. Atheist. Also Jimmy Snow, though he decides to give me a new nickname, and I kind of dig it. Here we go.
We'll call him Mr. Pumpkin, all right, because a pumpkin's the biggest fruit on earth.
Okay, so Mr. Pumpkin, I can get down with that. In fact, if you remember, around Halloween, I made this tweet here. I embrace Mr. Pumpkin, though you said it's because it's the biggest fruit on earth. And I gotta tell you, I'm barely top 10 biggest fruit. What comes next is he actually plays quite a bit of my video. And Tommy, you're gonna watch this, so let me just speak directly to you. I could so easily destroy your channel right now because you don't actually provide commentary on the video. There's little bits here and there that you could justify that, but so much of your use of my video does not constitute fair use. I could take you down if I wanted, but I'm not going to. I'd rather see this play out the way it's about to. I'm going to be reviewing a video that contains homophobic... All right, let's jump forward. You've presumably already seen this bit of me, but he has identified that I am, in fact, Mr. Pumpkin. I'm Mr. Pumpkin. Any questions?
Got the video taken down, been getting all kinds of perverted hate comments and everything. And folks, that video was so tame. It was so nice.
The video he is referring to about being so tame and so nice included a celebration of the Pulse nightclub shooting, literally saying that didn't make the individual making a big point about how it didn't make them sad because they're rapists and pedophiles, and that's what he knows gay people become. That's the video, though he'll make another point about it.
It was nothing compared to the preaching I've heard all my life about the queers. I mean, nothing, not even close.
This is a weird thing to brag about. If you're saying it was worse in the past, that doesn't excuse what you do in the present. Yes, racism at present day has a softer tone than it used to. It's still racism.
It was so tame. It had Pastor Boyle on there. Pastor Boyle, the nicest, most easygoing guy in the world.
And he was the one that you might remember seeing people leaving his congregation because he was saying, we hate what God hates, and God hates the queers. And I believe he also called us faggots. I've been called a faggot so many times in my life at this point, I've lost count. However, he is also the one who called for capital punishment for homos. So yeah, not the nicest, most easygoing guy. You don't know what these words mean, Tommy McMurtry.
And these guys, they just hate him, saying perverted junk about that. And and it goes all over the place and everybody's watching it. And you know what just makes me sick about that? A fruit like that guy, a pansexual, a guy that doesn't know if he's a male or a female, or
So to clear this up for you, since you already identified you don't know what a pansexual is, I do know, in fact, that I am a male, though I do claim some level of gender apathy, but I identify with that which I was assigned at birth, that I am a male, and I have certainly enjoyed the privileges that come with being a male in this society. Pansexuality has nothing to do with gender. By the way, if you're so sure that you know what's wrong with people and what's wrong with their gender or sexual or romantic identities, you might want to learn what these terms are. Now, as a pansexual, I am attracted to people regardless of what their gender is. What genitals they have, I'm not much fussed about. Pan means all, and it is certainly also trans-inclusive. That is an important part of why I actually call myself pansexual, because for some people, when they hear bisexual, which a lot of people say, a lot of people believe bisexual and pansexual are the same thing, but meanwhile, I have had expressed by partners who are trans or non-binary that hearing me say pansexual is nice right off the bat, because then you don't have to wonder whether or not that individual is being inclusive, even though others are. So, if you want to erase that, feel free to use bisexual, but I am a pansexual. Now you know.
or he doesn't even know what he's into.
Oh no, I know what I'm into, and I know what I've been into, and I could tell you stories.
Guys like him are paralyzing the old IFB.
IFB stands for Independent Fundamentalist Baptism or Baptist. It's one of those. Basically, it's the people who are fundamentalist Baptists who go around telling other people that they're going to hell. These are where things like Westboro Baptist Church come from. And apparently I'm just terrifying them. And said that he did not feel sad when they were... Here now they insert another clip, my commentary on Pastor Jimenez's part of that video, without context, just a straight insertion. This is just a straight insertion. You like that, don't you, Tommy? This is another use that wouldn't constitute fair use, and if I wanted to, I could have you. But don't you worry, Tommy McMurtry, I got better plans in mind. Seriously, stick around. So excited to share, but we got to get through this video first.
And you know what? Here's why. All right, I'm going to tell you why guys like him are paralyzing the old IFB. He hates people like me because he just can't stand it. He can't stand it that I'm not intimidated by guys like him.
Wait, do I hate him? You know what? Maybe I do hate him. I don't know. I can't stand listening to you talk, but here I'm going to do it more.
I'm not scared of them. They just can't stand it. And they don't know what to do because they have succeeded in paralyzing most Baptists.
Wow, that is a lot of power. By the way, I'm not worried about whether or not I can come after you, whether or not I can paralyze you and your message. However, I guarantee you, I will win more minds from your side than you will win from mine.
A fruit like that is paralyzing most Baptists. And guys like him are the ones who paralyze the trendies, because they want to be accepted by the world.
So if you don't understand, trendies are like these trendy pastors, the ones that are open and accepting of GRSM identities or LGBTQIA plus identities, whichever term you prefer. I prefer GRSM anymore. It's shorter and it's more inclusive. But basically the new progressive and hip pastors. That's who the trendies are.
They want to be accepted by the fruits and the nuts and the weirdos and the queers. They want all that. They want them in their church.
So if you think I'm excited about people like me going to church when there are usually going to be shame cycles still attached to that, you apparently didn't pay attention to my actual name, which isn't actually Mr. Pumpkin, it's Mr. Atheist.
All right? Hey, and just so you know, Mr. Pumpkin, the trendies, they still want to change those. The queers that come into their church.
Yeah, many of them do. You're not wrong. The Mormon church has tried to present that they're now accepting of homosexuality, even though they still project it as a sin and try to either get you to live a life of celibacy or fake it until you make it, fake a heterosexual marriage. I don't disagree that it is still, it's a bait and switch.
They think they can reform them. They think they can get them out of that lifestyle, all right? I do agree with him that these people can't be changed, all right?
And shouldn't. And there's no reason to ask them to change because they're all goddamn beautiful.
I agree with that. They're stuck like that, and they're going to live their miserable existence till they split hell wide open.
Oh, no, we don't live miserable existences. I mean, granted, some do because of the douchey way society greets them, and that's people like yours' fault. But many of our existences are quite exciting, not because of splitting hell wide open, But we're splitting things wide open, that's for sure. That's for sure, Tommy McMurtry.
That's their end, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're going to try to take as many people down with them.
Depends on the person. Some of us are more monogamous than others, some more polyamorous. Oh, you said, got it, take down with it. I thought you were saying we're going to try and go down with as many people as possible, which, kinda, at least for me.
All right. But, Mr. Pastor Trendy is scared of guys like him. The old IFB, they're not scared of the fruits. All right. They're not scared of some sick, long hair, just, soy boy.
This is a weird thing to call me. Like, I am quite liberal, very liberal even, but I own guns and I eat meat. So, soy boy, whatever you need to do to condescend to my existence, Tommy McMurtry, you should do, Tommy McMurtry.
Fruitcake like that. But I'll tell you who they're scared of. They're scared of that little grandma in the church that's got a queer grandson. That if he starts preaching hard against the homos, she's going to quit giving her money in the church.
Hey, you know what? You are pointing out something here that I agree with. Baptists are a bunch of fucking hypocrites. And like most religion, money speaks louder than truth, and certainly louder than words. So, yeah, no. I'm on board.
And it's time to grow a backbone. Don't be afraid of Mr. Pumpkin. Folks, the guy's got almost 200,000 subscribers.
Thank you for rounding up. I think I'm around 185,000, but this guy would hate it if I hit 200,000, especially if I hit it because he brought it up. So maybe hit that subscribe button to show Tommy McMurtry what's up. That's not the plan, though. That's not the thing. Oh, we're going to hit back. Oh, so excited for this.
What was it, 100,000? 100,000 people saw that, telling everybody to come after my channel.
Yeah, and report it for hate speech, which it was, and it incited violence. So...
Can't moderate all the comments. Guess what? I did, all right?
No, you didn't. And here's what you are lying about now, or at least being very disingenuous about. He says, I did actually moderate all those comments. He said we wouldn't be able to. He actually says this next real quick.
It wasn't that hard, okay?
Do you know why it wasn't that hard? Here's the thing. I released that video to my patrons an entire day before the rest of the audience got to see it. And in that time, I think somewhere between 50 and 100 patrons watched the video and went and reported it. The reason it wasn't hard to moderate is because at most 100 people came and got your video taken down. It was down before I published to the rest of YouTube. Now, there were other videos we had to go take down too, and we did, but that's why it was easy. You saw what 100 of my people can do. At the end of the video, you're going to see what happens when I ask all 185,000 to help me out.
Most of the people leaving, it was the same people over and over again, because you know what? He's not as powerful as he looks. He's not. He's a pansexual.
So just so you know, pansexuality and the word power have actually nothing to do with each other. And I will tell you that I have a number of partners who would testify to how much power as a pansexual I do have, even though it's technically unrelated. But we're talking about different things.
He doesn't know what and they're scared of people like that. What a joke.
Mr. Pumpkinhead has a hollow in his head and a...
By the way, if you weren't a terrible bigot, the way you ended this video is very funny. The playing Mr. Pumpkinhead with me doing the basically jazz fingers, that's hilarious. You're just a ginormous piece of shit. I did love that though at the end, the trying to condescend to me like I'm a pansexual, I'm a soy boy, I'm a pansy. I'm also 6'2" and 250 pounds. So, do with that what you will. But that's as much of this video. The song just goes on and it repeats, hey, here's when this conference is going on. He's made a video about Pastor Anderson as well. You're correct. And at the end of that video, we had several YouTubers join together and basically express something that we all agree with, and in several in a row, all made the statement, Steven Anderson is not a secret homosexual, which, by the way, I genuinely don't think he does. It was kind of fun to do, 10 or so in a row, but that video does exist. But anyway, on the idea of that kind of video, we're going to clap back. Here's part 2. We're going to work together and we're going to show this 185,000 subscriber count that he dismissed as being nothing. We're going to show what nothing we aren't. And I'm going to give to you 2 ways you can help me show Tommy McMurtry just how powerful we can be. I'm going to give you a quick course in search engine optimization. You see, whenever somebody searches for a term, there are things that go into an algorithm that go into deciding what you see first. So Google has an algorithm like this. YouTube has an algorithm like this. Say you were to search for Tommy McMurtry. You're probably going to find videos like this. Say you were to Google search that, you'll probably find the church website he's at. And so what if I had an audience of people who can't stand that people like this exist and are trying to actively harm the GRSM community, are making a mockery of the Pulse nightclub shooting by showing up and holding a conference there during Pride? What could this audience do to, say, control some search engines, say Google and the YouTube search engine, to sort of clap back? Well, the first thing you could do is you could go to TommyMcMurtry.com. Now, I know you might think I'm sending you to a website owned by Pastor Tommy McMurtry. No, TommyMcMurtry.com, for the record, has nothing to do with Pastor Tommy McMurtry. TommyMcMurtry.com is totally unaffiliated because I own TommyMcMurtry.com. And right now, if you go to TommyMcMurtry.com, you will be greeted by a website that is filled with sexy pictures of humanoids with pumpkin heads. Some truly attractive pumpkin-like humans such as myself. By the way, while you are there, if you would like for a picture that you've created of an attractive humanoid with a pumpkin head to be included on that website, why don't you go ahead and shoot that to an email address, TommyMcMurtryPumpkin@gmail.com, and we'll see to it that it gets up there. Once again, that website and that email address are in no way associated with Liberty Baptist Church or Tommy McMurtry. But if you were to go to that website and then share links to that website, say on any blogs, websites, Twitters, Facebook, social media that you have, were people to do that, it's interesting. Because if we include, as we do that, keywords like Tommy McMurtry and Liberty Baptist Church in doing that, hypothetically, it would become the #1 result rather quickly if enough people did it when searching for the term on Google, Liberty Baptist Church or Tommy McMurtry, or even Pastor McMurtry. You know, you could search engine optimize for all of those things. And then second, at the end of this video, I'm going to play a short clip. It'll be less than 2 minutes. It might even be less than a minute, but it'll certainly be less than 2 minutes. This video will then be posted again tomorrow on YouTube, and it'll be called Pastor Tommy McMurtry, Liberty Baptist Church. Let's talk hypotheticals again. If you were to watch this video in its entirety and then go search for Tommy McMurtry or Pastor McMurtry on YouTube and find that same video and watch it again in its entirety, that part's important, watch the whole thing through again, and then maybe search for Liberty Baptist Church and do the exact same thing. Hypothetically, were we to do such a thing, whenever somebody types in Liberty Baptist Church or Tommy McMurtry or these related terms to YouTube, the #1 result will be the video that will end this. And again, these videos and these websites like TommyMcMurtry.com are in no way affiliated with Liberty Baptist Church or Tommy McMurtry. But if you were to do such a thing, and that video and that website became the first thing people found when they searched for these terms, I think that would be a great demonstration that this 185,000 subscribers that he's not scared of, not worried about at all, that we actually have some power. One might even claim we took ownership of the name Tommy McMurtry, which once again has no affiliation, in this case, to Liberty Baptist Church or Pastor Tommy McMurtry. TommyMcMurtry.com is a totally unrelated entity. Before we get to that short video that will be played tomorrow independently, and if you wanted to, you could take those steps to get it up to the top of the charts when those terms are searched for, I do want to say very expressly, do not harass in any way the individuals we have been criticizing today. If you go to the video and you actually watch their video and you leave a comment on it that is relevant to it, that is 100% your prerogative. You can post a dislike if you want, but I do not advocate for using hate the way hate is being used against us. Certainly not violent language, and I would ask you not to spam. We don't, if you want to help and you've made that decision for yourself, I have laid out some hypothetical scenarios, and I think that would work. Final thing, I have purchased that domain name, and I'm going to be putting some money into AdWords and other methods of marketing to get that out there. If in general you want to financially support the channel, right now the best way is PayPal, because this is going to be money coming directly out of my pocket. There is a PayPal link down below if you want to, again, help out with that and my channel more broadly. Okay, you've been patient, you've waited a long time, and now it's time to show you, in the same vein of our Steven Anderson is not a secret homosexual video, which again with several creators on repetition, let me get this video started. I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying I don't know if he is.
I am not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
I'm not saying Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't actually know.
So I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins, but we just don't really know.
I'm not saying Pastor McMurtry's attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't know.
I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying that we don't really know.
I'm not saying Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins, but I am saying that we don't really know.
I'm not saying Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
I'm not saying Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't really know.
Look, I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins, but I am saying we don't really know for sure.
Look, I'm not saying that Pastor McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying that we don't, really know. We're not certain. It's possible. We should ask him.